All right, so get this. Today we are going deep, and I mean deep, into the world of APOPO's hero rats.
Hero rats.
Yeah, you know, those incredible little creatures that are like sniffing out danger and disease.
Oh, yeah, I've seen them. Like the landmine rats, right?
Exactly.
The,
But we're going way beyond just the headlines today, okay?
yeah.
We're going to figure out how these rats are trained, like why they're so good at their jobs, and, you know, like the real impact that they have in the world.
It's amazing, really. I mean, it's not just a cute story.
No, definitely not.
There's some like really serious science and ingenuity behind all of this. It's like they're combining animal behavior with like rigorous training and this deep understanding of the problems they're tackling.
Totally. So for anyone who might not know, APO is a Belgian NGO, and they're training African giant pouched rats for things like landmine detection, but also tuberculosis detection.
Right.
They do work with dogs too, but for this deep dive, we're all about the rats.
Yeah, the rats are definitely the stars of the show, I think. And that's actually what I find so fascinating about all this. I mean, this wasn't just some like random idea that someone had.
Yeah, of course not.
There was a lot of thought that went into choosing these specific rats.
Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. Where did this all begin? How did someone even come up with this idea?
Well, so the aha moment, right, you can trace it all the way back to Bart Weetjens. He was one of the co-founders of APOPO.
Okay.
And he was reading an article about scent detection, but get this, it was using gerbils.
Gerbils. Really?
I know, right?
Not exactly the first animal you think of for, like, sniffing out danger.
No, not at all. But that's what sparked the idea. Bart saw the potential of using rats, you know, with their incredible sense of smell and how trainable they are for something, you know, much bigger.
So it wasn't just any rat, right?
Yeah.
They specifically chose the Gambian pouched rat.
Yeah.
Why this particular species?
Well, for one thing, they are native to Africa, so they're already adapted to the climate.
Oh, right. That makes sense.
And they're resistant to, like, local diseases. Plus, they've got a relatively long lifespan, which is, you know, really important when you think about the investment in training. You want these hero rats to be working for as long as possible.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So how do you even turn a regular Gambian pouched rat into a landmine detecting superhero?
Training. A very clever training program. It all comes down to a method called operant conditioning, which is basically teaching through positive reinforcement.
Oh, okay. I've heard of that. Like training a dog with treats.
Exactly. But in this case, the rats learn to associate a specific click sound with a reward,
Okay.
which is usually a delicious piece of banana or some peanuts.
So they hear a click, they get a treat. But how does that lead to finding landmines?
Well, the next step is introducing them to the target scent. And for landmine detection, that scent is TNT.
Oh, okay.
So the trainers, you know, they carefully expose the rats to the smell of TNT, and they pair it with the click and the reward. And over time, the rats learn that the smell of TNT equals a tasty treat.
So they're basically sniffing out a delicious, explosive-scented banana.
Pretty much.
I love it. How long does this training take, though?
It's actually a pretty rigorous process. It takes around 9 months to fully train a hero rat.
Wow. 9 months.
Yeah. And not every rat makes the cut either. I mean, they have to pass a blind test to prove they can actually find the TNT without any help from the trainers.
Like a final exam.
Exactly. The trainers hide TNT in a test area, and the rat has to find it using just its sense of smell. Only the rats who pass this test get to become official certified landmine detecting hero rats.
That's like getting a degree and sniffing out danger.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just the beginning of their journey. These little graduates are about to embark on a career that could save countless lives.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. So they've aced their exams, they've got their sniffing degrees. How do they actually use their skills in the field? What does it look like when a hero rat is actually on a mission to find landmines?
Well, imagine a field, right?
Yeah.
Suspected of having landmines? It's a tense situation, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to go there. Unsure where the danger is. Now picture this. Okay, 2 handlers. Each one's holding one end of a rope. And they're carefully walking across this field.
Oh, yeah.
The rope is suspended between them, and attached to it is a harness with our hero rat.
So the rat is like gliding above the ground.
Exactly. The rat systematically moves back and forth, sniffing the ground as it goes. And, you know, because they're so light, they don't trigger those pressure-sensitive mines.
That's a huge relief.
Yeah.
But how do they know when they found something?
When the hero rat detects that telltale scent of TNT, it's trained to scratch at the ground, and that's the signal.
Oh,
For the handlers to mark the spot
right.
and call in the experts to safely remove or detonate the landmine.
That's so smart. Couldn't they just use metal detectors, though? Why go through the whole, process of training rats?
Well, metal detectors are great, but they definitely have limitations.
Okay.
I mean, they get triggered by all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, true.
Like old nails, bottle caps, you name it.
Right.
And it slows the whole process down, and sometimes it's just hard to tell what's actually dangerous.
So the rats are more focused.
Exactly. Laser focused on the scent of TNT.
Okay.
And they just ignore all that other metal junk.
Right.
It makes them much faster and way more efficient.
How much faster are we talking, though? Like,
Oh,
did they really make a significant difference?
Oh, absolutely. A single hero rat can clear an area the size of a tennis court in about 20 minutes. Think about that. That same area could take a human deminer with a metal detector days to clear.
Wow, that's a game changer.
Yeah.
Especially in areas where landmines are a major problem.
Yeah, and the impact of hero rats goes beyond just speed. I mean, think about the cost savings, too.
Yeah.
They're relatively inexpensive to train and care for, especially compared to the resources needed for, traditional demining methods.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it's faster, more cost-effective, and it's incredibly safe for the rats. What's not to love about this program?
Exactly. And, the best part is the impact is tangible.
Yeah.
These hero rats are actually saving lives.
Right?
By clearing these landmines and making communities safer.
Speaking of impact, where are these hero rats making a difference?
Well, APOPO currently has programs in several countries, including Angola, Cambodia, Mozambique, and Tanzania.
Wow.
Yeah, and they've cleared millions of square meters of land, allowing people to return to their homes and farmland without fear.
That's incredible. Are there any specific stories or, examples that really highlight the impacts of these rats?
There's the story of Magawa.
Magawa.
Yeah, a hero rat who became a global sensation.
Oh, I think I remember hearing about him.
He worked in Cambodia and sniffed out, get this, over 71 landmines and 38 other explosives during his career.
I think I do remember hearing about him. He even received a gold medal for his bravery, right?
He did. He was awarded the PDSA Gold Medal, which is basically like the animal equivalent of the George Cross. Yeah, for his life-saving work. He was a true hero and a real testament to the incredible bond between these rats and their handlers.
It's amazing to hear about these rats making such a huge difference. It really does, challenge our perceptions of what these animals are even capable of.
It really does, and it speaks to the power of innovative thinking and the importance of understanding and respecting the natural abilities of different species.
Okay, so we talked about the origin story, the training process, the amazing work they do in the field. We even talked about the global impact. Is there anything else we should know about these incredible hero rats?
Well, there's actually a lot more to their story. What's fascinating is that APOPO is exploring other applications for these rats
Really?
beyond landmine detection.
Like what else can these sniffing superheroes do?
Well, so they're currently being used to detect tuberculosis.
Really?
Yeah, you see traditional TB detection methods.
Oh.
They can be slow and unreliable, but these rats, with their super sniffers, can analyze sputum samples much faster than humans can.
Wait, so they're sniffing out diseases now. How does that even work?
It's actually pretty similar to landmine detection.
Oh, okay.
They're trained to associate the scent of specific compounds found in TB-positive samples with a reward. So they sniff a series of samples, and if they detect that telltale scent, then they, signal to the handlers.
So they're basically like, hey, I smell TB over here.
Exactly, and the results are pretty incredible. They can evaluate a huge number of samples in a fraction of the time it would take using traditional methods. In some cases, they've even helped to identify TB cases that were missed by conventional testing.
Wow.
Which is obviously a big deal for public health.
Yeah, that's amazing. So they're literally saving lives on two fronts, landmines and TB. What's next? Are there any other potential applications in the works?
APOPO is always pushing the boundaries. Right now, they're researching the potential of hero rats for detecting illegal wildlife trafficking products.
Really?
Like ivory or pangolin scales.
So they'd be like wildlife guardians, sniffing out poachers and protecting endangered species. That's amazing.
Exactly. And it doesn't stop there. They're also exploring the possibility of using the rats for disaster relief.
Disaster relief?
Yeah. Specifically for detecting people who are trapped in collapsed buildings.
Oh, wow.
After earthquakes or other disasters.
So they could sniff out survivors. These rats are truly becoming superheroes.
I know, it's really quite amazing. And the possibilities just keep expanding.
Uh,
They're even investigating the potential for early cancer detection.
Cancer detection.
Yeah. Using rats, it sounds like science fiction, but the research is showing some promising results.
This is all just incredible. It really makes you wonder what else we could achieve if we just opened our minds to the potential of the animal world.
Totally. APOPO's work is a testament to the power of, innovation and collaboration.
Yeah.
And obviously the incredible abilities of these often overlooked creatures.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of hero rats, I think we can all agree that these rats aren't just sniffing out danger and disease. They're sniffing out a brighter future for us all. What a journey.
I couldn't have said it better myself. So they're, suspended above the ground in this harness.
Okay.
And as they move back and forth, they're sniffing the ground.
Gotcha.
And one of the, amazing things about them is they're so lightweight.
Yeah.
They don't trigger those pressure-sensitive minds.
That's a huge relief.
Yeah.
But okay, so how do they actually know when they've found something?
Well, when a hero rat detects that, that scent, that telltale scent of TNT, they're trained to scratch at the ground.
Okay.
And that's the signal for the handlers to mark the spot
Okay.
and call in the experts to remove it safely or, detonate the landmine.
That is so smart.
Oh.
But couldn't they just use metal detectors for this? Why go through all the trouble of, training rats?
Well, metal detectors are useful, but they definitely have their limitations. They can get triggered by, all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Like old nails, bottle caps, you name it. It really slows down the process.
Right.
And sometimes it's hard to even tell what's actually dangerous and what's not.
So the rats are more focused.
Exactly. They're laser focused on the scent of TNT, and they ignore all that other metal junk.
Makes them much faster.
Oh, yeah. Way more efficient.
How much faster are we talking here? Do they really make, a significant difference?
Absolutely. A single hero rat can clear an area the size of a tennis court
Oh,
in about 20 minutes.
that's incredible.
That same area could take a human deminer with a metal detector days to clear.
Wow, that is a game changer.
Yeah.
Especially in areas where landmines are just a major problem.
And the impact of these hero rats, it goes beyond just speed. Think about the cost savings as well. I mean,
Yeah.
they're relatively inexpensive to train and care for, especially compared to, using traditional demining methods.
That makes sense. So it's faster, more cost-effective, and incredibly safe for the rats themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, what's not to love about this?
Exactly. And I think the best part is that the impact is tangible. I mean, these hero rats are actually saving lives
Yeah.
by clearing these landmines and making communities safer.
Speaking of impact, where are these hero rats making a difference? Where in the world are they working?
Well, APO-SHU has programs in several countries,
Okay.
like Angola, Cambodia, Mozambique, and Tanzania.
Wow.
And they've cleared millions of square meters of land. They're allowing people to actually return to their homes, to their farmland, without fear.
That is incredible. Are there any specific stories or examples that really kind of highlight the impact of these rats?
Well, there's the story of Magawa.
Magawa?
Yeah, a hero rat. He actually became a global sensation.
I think I've heard.
He worked in Cambodia
Yeah.
and, sniffed out over 71 landmines and 38 other explosives during his career.
Yeah. I think I do remember hearing about him. He even received a gold medal for his bravery.
He did. He was awarded the PDSA Gold Medal, which is kind of like the animal equivalent of the George Cross,
Wow.
for his life-saving work. I mean, he was a true hero, really, and such a testament to the incredible bond between, these rats and their handlers.
It's so amazing to hear about these rats making such a difference. It really challenges our perceptions of what these animals are even capable of,
It really does, and it speaks to the power of, innovative thinking
Yeah.
and the importance of understanding and respecting the natural abilities of, different species.
Okay. So we've talked about the origin story. We talked about the training process, the amazing work they do in the field. We even talked about the global impact. Is there anything else we should know about these incredible hero rats?
Well, there's a lot more to their story, actually. What's fascinating is that APOPO is exploring other applications for these rats
Really?
beyond, landmine detection.
Like what else can these sniffing superheroes do?
They're actually being used to detect tuberculosis.
Tuberculosis.
Yeah. Those traditional TB detection methods?
Yeah.
They can be really slow
Okay.
and unreliable.
Yeah.
But These rats, with their, incredible sense of smell,
Mm-hmm.
they can analyze sputum samples way faster than humans.
Wait, so they're like sniffing out diseases now. How does that even work?
It's pretty similar to landmine detection, actually.
Oh, okay.
They're trained to associate the scent, right,
Yeah.
of specific compounds that are found in TB-positive samples with a reward.
Okay.
So, they sniff a series of samples,
Right.
and if they detect that telltale scent, they signal to the handlers.
So they're like, hey, I smell TB over here.
Exactly. And the results are amazing. I mean, really incredible. They can evaluate a huge number of samples in a fraction of the time it would take using those, traditional methods.
Wow.
And in some cases, they've even helped to identify TB cases that were missed by conventional testing,
That's incredible.
which is obviously, a huge deal for public health.
Yeah, definitely. So they're literally saving lives on two fronts, landmines and TB.
Mm.
What's next? Are there like any other potential applications for these amazing rats?
APOPO is constantly pushing the boundaries. Right now, they're researching the potential for these hero rats
Uh-huh.
to detect illegal wildlife trafficking products
Right.
like ivory
Wow.
or pangolin scales.
So they'd be like wildlife guardians,
Yeah.
sniffing out poachers and protecting endangered species.
Because of these.
And it doesn't stop there. They're also exploring using them in disaster relief.
Disaster relief.
Yes, specifically for detecting people trapped in collapsed buildings after, earthquakes or other disasters.
So they could sniff out survivors. These rats really are becoming like actual superheroes. I know. It's really pretty amazing. And the possibilities, they just keep expanding. They're even looking into early cancer detection.
Cancer detection
Yeah.
with rats.
Yeah. It sounds like science fiction, but the research is showing some pretty promising results.
This is all just incredible. It really makes you wonder what else is out there, what we could achieve if we were just more open to the potential of, the animal world.
I think you're absolutely right. APO's work is really a testament to the power of innovation and collaboration,
Yeah.
and obviously the incredible abilities of these often overlooked creatures.
Well, I think that about wraps up our deep dive into the incredible world of hero rats. It's safe to say these little guys aren't just sniffing out danger and disease. I think they're sniffing out a brighter future for us all.
Couldn't agree more.